Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over my deck list for my GranKuwagamon deck. This is my main deck right now, and it's pretty much, it's been my main deck ever since I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This is actually a very modified build of the starter deck. Now, more than half of the cards in here are changed from the starter deck, but you can get a starter deck and then build the rest of this for like, I think, 10 to 15 bucks. So this is in total, this is a around $30 deck, which is pretty affordable if you want a casual deck that's still fairly good. Nothing super crazy meta, but it does have some good combos. So throughout the video, I'm just going to go over each card, what they do, and then at the end, I'll show you some Digivolution stacks and some security stack combos that you can do. So I think we'll start off with going through each level, and then we'll hit the options, and then we'll hit the tamers. So to start off, you're gonna want to play 4 copies of the level 2 Modimon. This is your Digitama, and what he does is, on my turn, on your turn, when the Digimon is level 6 or higher, they gain 1000 DP. So nothing crazy, but it's a good one to start. And you're not going to run, or at least I don't, you can, but I don't run a 5th Digimon in my Digitama stack because I like consistency, so I don't want to get like a random card every now and then when I Digi-hatch. I just want it to be the same thing every time, but you can't run 5 because that's against the rules, so I just run 4 of those, which typically, since it's an all-green deck, you don't really need more than 4. You'd only need 5 if you're running like a dual deck like Omnimon red blue, where you will probably want 3 blues and 2 reds, or vice versa. So yeah, the first level 3 that we're gonna go for and look at is Leomon. You're gonna want to play a playset of Leomon, and the reason for this is because you're gonna be using this guy just to play. You're not gonna want to use him in your Digivolution stacks, like in your breeding area or anything. And that's because his play cost and his Digivolution cost are the same value. It's 2. He's level 3, so you can just play him for 2, and he has 5,000 attack. So this is a very strong, cheap mon to just toss out if you need to get something out on the field. So I run a full playset of 4. And onto the next level 3, you want to run 3 copies of this green Agumon. And the reason for this is because he has a Digivolution cost of 0, but he has 1000 DP, so you don't just want to play him. He actually costs more than the Leomon, but the reason we use him is because he Digivolves for free, and when he gets, on my turn, this Digimon gets 1000 DP no matter the level. So he will always get 1000 DP if he's in your Digivolution stack. And when he Digivolves for free, that's pretty good. Our next level 3 is going to be 3 copies of this Palmon. And this is another one that Digivolves for free. It's not strong, so this will be a Digivolution card. And the reason is, when attacking, if you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. So if you attack a Digimon, you'll get plus 2000. In my opinion, not as good as the Agumon because it's not 1000 no matter what. It's 2000 when you attack a Digimon, but it can still be pretty good. And then our next level 3 here is 3 copies of this Kakuamon. This is another one that you're going to want to be Digivolving instead of just playing. You can just play this one, but of course it's 1 Digivolution cost versus 4 play cost, and he only has 2000. He is not that strong. And the reason we like this guy is because he may not look like he fits into this deck, but the reason for having him is his Digivolution effect. So your turn, while this Digimon is level 6 or higher, it gains security attack plus 1. So when he is in the stack and your Digimon becomes level 6, you get security attack plus 1 for this. That's a free security attack plus 1. So that can be insanely good if you use him properly. And then, just because I wanted to round it out, we're going to run 1 copy of this Tentomon. Not because he digivolves, you're actually going to want to use this guy to play, and that's because he has an on-play effect, which reads, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a green Digimon card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of the deck. So this is good for just playing and then getting another card pretty quick. So that's it for the level 3s. You're going to run 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 level 3s. Which is quite a few, but trust me, you'll see why, and it honestly is it's very nice to have. So, moving on to the level 4s, you're going to play 2 copies of this Kuwagamon, and he's not the strongest, but he has an on-play effect of suspending one of your opponent's Digimon, so that can be nice in a pinch. So you want to run 2 copies of that. And then you're going to run 2 copies of this other Kuwagamon, which is much stronger. It doesn't have an on-play effect or an inheritance ability, but it's stronger than the other one. And then you're going to run 1 copy of this Kabuterimon. And the reason is, on your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for every suspended Digimon your opponent has. So that can be fairly good, depending on if your opponent has suspended Digimons. And then you're running one of this Kabuterimon just for differentiating, or just for having different cards. This will be a blocker. So this will be a nice pinch card with 5000 that you can use to block. And then the bulk of our level 4s here, which is our last level 4, right? Yeah. Bulk of our level 4s, 4 copies of this Togemon. He's very good. He only costs 2 to go into. He only has 4000, but his thing, when attacking, if you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 2000 for the turn. So it's the same as the Palmons, but he's a level 4, so that can stack with Palmons if you have a Palmon under it. So that's nice to have. And then we're going to move on to our level 5s. And this is where the deck kind of thins out a little bit, and you'll actually see that we have less level 5s in this deck than level 6s, and there's a good reason for that. So first, our base level 5s, or our common level 5s, you're going to play 3 copies of this Okuamon. It's a very nice card to have. Very useful. It's strong. It's pretty easy. It's only 2 Digivolution cost. And its inheritance ability is your turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you get a memory. So it's a nice way to get some more memory if you need it. And then for our other level 5, we're going to run 2 copies of this Mega Kabuterimon. This is a very, very good card, especially if you have it stacked with the Kakuamon. And the reason for that is because, not just because he's strong, it's because of his inheritance ability. Your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So this can stack with the Kakuamon. And that's good because you'll get that +1 security, and then you'll also get to trash the top. So that's 2 security cards gone. Now we're going to move into our level 6s. So you're going to want to play 2 copies of this GranKuwagamon, which is extremely powerful. It has the main ability is Digiburst 2, which is where you can trash 2 of the Digivolution cards, and if you do, this card gets security attack +1 for the turn. So that can be very good, but it's not the best, which is why we're only running 2 of these guys. And then our main card, or our boss monster, if you will, 4 copies of this GranKuwagamon. And the reason is, 1, he is extremely strong. He has a your turn ability that reads, this Digimon gets plus 4000 DP, so on your turn, this guy has 15,000 DP alone, not including any of the Digimon inheritance abilities. And he also has Piercing, which will go very good with another card that I'm going to show for next for in the option card sections. So this can go very good because you can get that piercing, and if you kill a Digimon, the Mega Kabuterimon, and so on, I'll show that combo in a little bit. So now onto our option cards, and this option card here is going to go extremely good with that GranKuwagamon because this card is Dimension Scissor, and we're going to play 3 copies. And the reason is because its main ability is one of your Digimon gains the following effects for the turn. When your Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in a battle and survives, unsuspend it. So if you attack one of their Digimon and you win, you can unsuspend and attack again. And there is no limit to how many times you can do this. Now we do know that this does not work on security stacks, so you cannot play this on a card, swing at the security stack, and if it's a Digimon, that does not count as a battle for this card. It has to be one of the cards that are in play in the battle area. And then security is add this card to its hand. So that's a really, really good card, especially when for the running a deck such as like Rookie Rush. If you're playing against Rookie Rush, that'll be a good card because they'll just Rookie Rush you, and then you play that card and get all the rookies, and as well with like Piercing or something, you can get a bunch of security in one go. Our next option card is a pretty basic one. It's one that comes on the starter deck. 3 copies of Form Buster. This just gives one of your Digimon 3000 DP for the turn. And the security is you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and then get the card in your hand. So it's a overall pretty good option card. Our next option card here is 2 copies of Puppet Pummel. And the reason we're using this is because its ability. Main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of your Digimon gets and then one of your Digimon gets 2000 DP. So you can suspend a Digimon and then one of your guys gets 2000. No security effect, but if you get this guy like in your starting hand, that can be a good card, especially for a cost of 3. Our next option card here is going to be Smashed Potatoes. We're going to run 2 copies, and this is a very good card. This card makes it so that when you play it for the rest of the turn, the next time you would Digivolve one of your green Digimon from level 5 to level 6, decrease the Digivolution cost by 4. So you can play this card for 2 and then decrease a level 5 to level 6 Digivolution by 4. So basically in this deck, you get a free Digivolution. Now it's not free because you do have to play this card for 2, but with the GranKuwagamons going from 5 to 6, they both have cost of 4. So you're having their Digivolution cost, which can come in handy sometimes, especially on like last turn scenarios. Just a couple more left to go. We're going to run 1 copy of Forbidden Temptation just in case. And the reason is for the main ability. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, one of your opponent's Digimon can't attack or block. So it just immobilizes them for a full turn. And then for security is your opponent's Digimon don't unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase, which can be good if they attack your security and they're suspending all their Digimon, like, in a way, and then you can activate that, and then you can play Dimension Scissor with the one with Piercing or something. And then our last option card is another generic one for green that comes in the starter deck, which is 2 copies of Electroshocker. We're using this because of its main ability. You can return one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon to the owner's hand. Trash all Digivolution cards. Trash all Digivolution cards of the Digimon. So you can send a Digimon back to their hand and kill all the Digivolution cards, which can be very handy if they play something like Omnimon. Just toss this down. It does cost 5, but I would say it's worth it. And if it's in your security, you get to activate this card's effect, which can be very nice because you just get to play the card for free. And lastly, we have 2 Tamer cards. One of them being the Mimi Tachikawa card. This is good because if you have 2 or less memory at the start of your turn, you get to go 3. So you always start with 3 if you have this card. And then the main is if you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon, If you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, you can suspend this tamer to hatch one Digi-Egg card to an empty space in your breeding area. Or move one level 3 Digimon from your breeding area to the battle area. So basically it lets you get out, it lets you move up one of your breeding, it lets you move up the Digimon in your breeding, assuming it's level 5 or 6. And once you do that, you get to immediately hatch another instead of waiting for the next turn. And then the security is play this card without paying the memory cost. And our last card, which is our second tamer, or two of two tamers, is Izzy Izumi and Mimi Tachikawa. This is nice because if this card at the start of your turn, if your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, you get 2 memory. And then on your turn, when you attack with a level 5 green Digimon, you can suspend this tamer to reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. You may Digivolve one green level 6 Digimon card among them onto the attacking Digimon without paying its memory cost. Play the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's really nice. It's a free Digivolution, assuming there's one in those in your top 3 cards of your deck. And then the security is, of course, play this card without paying the memory cost. So, yeah, that's what the deck looks like. And I'm going to get into some basic combos really quick and just some stuff that you can do. And then I'll show you the, quote, optimal setup, at least in my opinion, for this deck. So, say you have something like this on your field, and this is your hand. We'll go over what this does. So first of all, we'll start with GranKuwagamon. He has 11,000 DP. He gains 4,000 on your turn, so 15. He has piercing, so when he kills a Digimon in the battle area, he can security check as well. Then the inherited effect from Mega Kabuterimon is your turn once per turn when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, trash the top card of security. So you can attack, kill them, that will activate, trashing one, and then piercing will activate. So that gets 2 if you kill a Digimon. And then Togemon's thing is when attacking your opponent's Digimon, you get 2,000, so he goes up to 17,000 DP. Then Kokuamon's is on your turn, this Digimon is level 6 or higher, it gains security attack +1. So it'll hit that, you'll kill a Digimon, say they have a suspended Digimon, attack it, kill it. Your Mega Kabuterimon trashes the top card, but that only happens once per turn, then piercing, then security attack +1. That's 3 security cards in one swing. And then you also have him, which is +1,000 if he's level 6 or higher. So he has 18,000. He can kill a Digimon and then piercing for 3 cards. The reason this is good is because obviously of what I just said. But if you have this, you can play Dimension Scissor on him. So say you have that and you're like, okay, you play Dimension Scissor on your stack down there. Well, what happens is once you play that Dimension Scissor, the Dimension Scissor makes it so that whenever the GranKuwagamon attacks another Digimon and survives the battle, you can unsuspend it. So what happens is this. You attack. You say you kill one of their suspended Digimon. Well, first off, it has Mega Kabuterimon's ability, so it trashes one of their security cards, so that's 1 down. Then, GranKuwagamon has piercing, so that's 2 down. Then, the Kokuamon's ability gives it security attack +1, and that works on piercing. So that's 3 security cards down in a swing. But then Dimension Scissor activates, and since you successfully killed that first Digimon on the field, you get to unsuspend GranKuwagamon. And assuming that the card you just killed in their battle area is the only card left on the field, or the only card left on their field, what happens is when you unsuspend, you swing again. So swing a second time at their security stack. So you'll hit their security stack with GranKuwagamon, and then Kokuamon's ability, Security Attack +1, deletes another one. So if you get this setup and they have all 5 security, you can delete all 5 of their security cards on one turn. And then say you have, I don't know, just one of the Leomons or something out, or just another weaker card out alongside of this GranKuwagamon. You can just swing for game with that. So this deck has the potential to be an OTK, or a one-turn kill. It's definitely not a first-turn kill. Those don't really exist in Digimon because of the way the memory works. But that is essentially a OTK if you get this setup. And it is surprisingly not hard to get this exact setup or something very similar, because you don't need both Kokuamon and Mega Kabuterimon. It'll still be insanely good if you have one or the other. So, yeah, that's a pretty good combo there. I'm going to show off another combo right now. So say you have this setup, where you have this stack here up to level 5 with Emodimon on the bottom, Agumon, what's his name? So say you have this setup here, where you have this stack with Emodimon on the bottom, an Agumon, a Kuwagamon, and then the Mega Kabuterimon on top. And this is your hand, or this is in your hand. What you can do here is, assuming you have 4 more memory, you can still play this and it'll still be your turn. Play this card like this, and then, if you can, swing or attack, not swing, attack with the Mega Kabuterimon. And what happens is, when that attack resolves, you can suspend this card here to draw 3 cards from the top of your deck. And if there's a level 6 there, you can digivolve your attacking level 5 into that level 6. So this here is our deck. Draw, draw, draw. Typically you'll see something like this because there's 6 level 6s in this deck. So what you get to do is you get to plop this card. You get to just go ahead and digivolve it. It stays suspended, but you get to digivolve it for free, and then these 2 would go on the bottom of your deck. So yeah, that's another combo that's more simpler than the other one, but I do think this one happens much more often. The other one is much more situational, but it definitely works. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck overview / guide, whatever. This is my main deck, and I really enjoy playing this. Hopefully I'm going to get around to doing a red-blue Omnimon deck, where I'm just making a red-blue Omnimon deck from cards from the Battle of Omni set, so all BT5 cards. I've got everything I need coming in the mail. Hopefully that'll be soon, within the next week. So I'll do a deck overview on that as well. And then hopefully, once I get those, and then I actually work on what needs to be done with the black-purple Omnimon Zwart deck, I can do a rematch with Jam. We can do a rematch with the Omnimons with the better decks and see how those work. So yeah, that's about it.